Hello friends! Today I'm leaving the beaches of Batumi and heading to highland Svaneti, namely to the village of Mestia, to see the world-famous watchtowers. But first, I would like to say that Georgia is not about the sea. Of course, there is a beautiful coast from Batumi to Poti with pebble beaches, clear and clean water, and healing sands of Eureki. However, I think that Georgia is about low and high mountains, overgrown with dense vegetation or covered with snow, about gorgeous gorges and grand canyons, mountain rivers and waterfalls. And of course, Georgia is unthinkable without its famous region of Kakheti, with its endless vineyards and wineries. However, the real treasure of Georgia is its people, hospitable hosts, kind, hospitable, responsive, cheerful, and always ready to help. That's why I say thank you, my friends. As I said before, Georgia is not about the sea. So after spending 2 days on the beach, I go to the most remote part of Georgia, mountainous Svaneti. But before that, I briefly stop in Batumi to see the seaport and stroll along the beautiful promenade of the city. Walking along the pier, I'll notice that the ships I love since childhood, probably since when as a child, visited Yalta, where I saw a large cruise ship. Admiral Nakimov seems. Then it seemed to me just a huge white rock, majestically towering over the pier. I remember that at that time I was jealous of the people who walked along the deck and admired the views of Yalta. As it turned out later, I envied them in vain. The steamship, soon afterwards, crashed and sank. 423 passengers died. It was a terrible disaster. But in spite of that, I did not stop loving ships, nor did my fear of sailing on the seas. While the carriage on the Ferris wheel smoothly and slowly takes me upstairs, let me make a brief excursion into the history of the city of Batumi. The first information about Batumi can be found in the Greek philosopher Aristotle. In the 4th century BC, Batumi is mentioned as the Colchian city of Batus. Under the same name, the city was known to the Roman writer Pliny the Elder and the Greek geographer Flavius Arrian. And the ancient name of the city of Batus, translated from the Greek, means deep. Nowadays, Batumi is a city and a port in Georgia, situated on the Black Sea coast in the Kakhabur lowlands, which shape resembles a crescent, stretching 7 kilometers from north to west. Batumi is the capital of the Autonomous Republic of Ajara. The city is the most important cultural, economic, and tourist center of Georgia. Batumi, famous for its historic center and modern tourist area, with its chic skyscrapers. The jewel in the city is the Seaside Park and Boulevard, which stretches for 8 kilometers along the beach and adjacent streets. Ninoshvili and Rustaveli. Hello friends, this is a live feed from the Mountain Serpentine Road leading to the city of Zugdidi. Let me remind you that I'm going to the Svaneti region to see the Svaneti watchtowers. Land of 1,000 towers, where the land meets the sky. A mountainous region with stunning nature. All this beautiful and ancient Svaneti, stretched at an altitude of 5,000 meters above sea level. Sparsely populated Svaneti, located in the remote mountainous part of Georgia, and being surrounded on all sides by mountains, has preserved its pristine beauty, untouched by civilization. Originally, this territory was part of the famous Colchis, and then several times passed under foreign rule. It was part of the kingdom of Imereti, and came under the rule of the noble Georgian clans. Under the influence of the Russian Empire, the region fell in 1833. But the freedom-loving Georgian people constantly struggled with the Tsarist regime. Finally, the Svans were freed from Russian tutelage in 1905. Soviet power was restored in Svaneti in 1924, and the land developed rapidly. However, the events of the 1990s caused serious changes for the worse. But now the mountainous regions of Georgia are experiencing a renaissance again, looking confidently to the future while preserving the traditions and customs of the past. Svaneti Range divides the territory of the region into two parts, Upper Svaneti and Lower Svaneti. Architectural and cultural monuments of Svaneti people, accumulated over many centuries of existence, are concentrated in Upper Svaneti. The center of Upper Svaneti is a village called Mestia. It's a small, high mountain village with a population of 2,500 people. Instead of the Svanetian pronunciation Mestia, it is often pronounced Mestia. Lower Svaneti is a valley, divided from the upper part by a mountain range. The main town of the region is Lenteki, where about 2,000 people live permanently. The lower area cannot boast interesting tourist attractions, but its natural beauty is rightly considered the real pearl of the region. Each of the tiers of the highlands presents itself to travelers in its own unique way, like beauty and such an abundance of medieval cultural monuments in any other country in the world. The main and most impressive attraction of the lower part of the region is the very nature of the mountainous region. Its unique beauty makes you literally awe in front of incredible scenery. Alpine plains, snow-covered mountain slopes, dazzling in the sunlight, boiling rivers and waterfalls. The mountain roads often pass through tunnels cut through the rock masses, and passing through them, travelers feel as if they are entering the kingdom of the Mountain King. On this aptimental note, I am forced to interrupt my poetic tale of mountainous Svaneti, because at the point of roadwork we are stuck. Live from the cab of the bus, it looks like we are stuck in the mountains for a long time because of a landslide. However, sometime later, a rescue operation began, and with the help of an old truck and a bulldozer, we were extracted from the rocky captivity and continued our serpentine ride, enjoying the beautiful views of Upper Svaneti. After another half hour, we reached our destination and drove into the high mountain village of Mestia. Good evening, friends. I am pleased to welcome you to the mountainous village of Mestia, which has been the cultural and religious center of Svaneti for several centuries. In Mestia, there are several tens of medieval houses, medieval watchtowers, and several ancient churches, which are included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Along with this, Mestia is a popular center for mountain climbing and mountain tourism in Georgia. In 2010, a new ski resort was opened on the slopes of the local mountains, a symbol of Svaneti, the famous watchtowers, built by inhabitants near their homes and connected with them by underground tunnels. In the previous turbulent centuries, they were used to shelter people from enemy raids. Stone fortifications made it possible to wait out the danger, and for several months could save the villagers in times of internecine wars and blood feuds. Local residents sometimes give tourists small tours of their towers, and I am just on my way to visit the owner of one such tower, which he assures me is the tallest in Mestia. Good morning, my friends. Remember I told you that I was going to visit the tallest watchtower in Mestia? Well, I'm already there, and the hospitable owner of the house, Sergo, is about to give me a tour. The watchtower has 3 floors, and now I'm going to try to go up the extremely narrow and uncomfortable wooden stairs. I hope it will hold me, and I won't fall down from the height of 1 meter. The ladder is very unstable and wobbly under me, but the landlord says it's sturdy and should be able to withstand me. And indeed, in a few minutes, I have successfully climbed to the 3rd floor of the tower and now look at the view of the surrounding area from the loophole. When I came down from the tower, I wanted to talk to the owner of the house on camera and ask him about the history of the ancestral home, about the traditions and customs of the locals, about life in Georgia in general. But he, being a very humble man, refused to be filmed. Instead, he offered me tea with honey and, of course, he did not ask me for any money for the tour. On the way out, I met a funny 4-legged friend who looked like he wanted to accompany me on a walk, which I was very happy about. I suggest you to go with us and enjoy the beautiful views of the valley and mountains of Mestia, as well as to feel the unforgettable atmosphere of Svaneti. Go ahead. I'm sorry, friends, but all good things come to an end. My trip to Georgia is coming to an end, too. This morning I woke up very early to take one more walk before I left, to take another walk through the village of Mestia. The tourists and locals were still asleep, and I was able to fully enjoy the beauty of the mountain scenery in a cozy atmosphere of peace and quiet. Walking along the turbulent river flowing along the village, I tried to remember and collect together all the impressions that I got during my long journey through the wonderful country. Now I'm waiting for a hearty breakfast in a cozy local cafe and a long road to the Black Sea. And there's a new road to a new country for me. And what country? You will find out very soon.